We gained another 2 ships in PTU this week, ahead of IE coming later this month, and I was heading out to take a look at one of them, the Crusader Starter ship, the Intrepid, and its rather unusual asymmetric design. Looks really cool from the non-gun side, looks great. The gun side, I kind of... there's this bit that sticks out next to the gun, like a bit of the frame that sticks out forward. My initial impression is I think it would look better without it, but what do I know? Cyrus was quick to point out how minimally this ship is armed.
It's basically defenseless anyway. It has one size 3 gun.
One size 3 gun.
Yeah.
Seems very minimal.
Yeah, especially since it's like, okay, you made the entire ship offset to accommodate one size 3 gun.
I think there may have been an expectation among those that were aware of this ship ahead of time that the unusual hull design was there to accommodate a larger bespoke gun like that on the Ares. So, what have we got in here? Components, and the cockpit. The odd hull shape does allow for a surprising amount of interior space. Oh yeah, it's got like a weird sidecar, right? You live in the sidecar. The onboard hab is in the offset space. There's a nice little dining area. Bathroom. Less claustrophobic than the Spirit's bathroom with that door. Mirrors in the game are being updated to use render to texture, but there is some culling tweaks to be made when it comes to seeing your own head. Like a little mini armory with shelves and whatnot. Various accoutrements for storage.
Yeah, it doesn't have that like weird internally bending door like the Spirit does.
Yes, right. That toilet is the most goddamn claustrophobic place I think in this entire game. The bed is nice, and I'm assuming this is a suit locker. Who's to say? Could be a teleporter for all I know. So, back here then, what we've got behind... It's got an engineering terminal, interesting.
An engineering terminal for a one-person ship?
What is this here? Like a little escape route? Oh, cargo grids. So, the cargo bay... It has a cargo bay, first of all, and they drop down like landing gear. Could almost be forgiven for, like I did, thinking it's like a secret way out of the ship. I'm assuming they're 1/8 STU. Those can't be 1 STU in size.
Yeah, each one holds 4 STU, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, well, your mind does weird things with scale, right? To me, currently, yeah, I guess they must be big enough for an STU container. They just don't look it for some reason. I mean, as a starter, it seems okay. The whole design of the Intrepid is striking and may not appeal to everyone, but that's the benefit of having such a varied collection of ships in the game. Everyone will find something that they like. Everyone should have the ships in game that they really enjoy, and that doesn't mean everything has to be made for everyone. But it's nice when people get something that they do enjoy. Cyrus was now also looking at an Intrepid at the expo halls.
But it's like, yeah, that nub that's like sticking off right next to the gun.
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Like, to me, this design doesn't land for me, but that's totally fine. Like, it doesn't have to, right? Like, not every ship has to be like your favorite ship. Cockpit is nice though. The cockpit is really nice. As I was taking off, the shape would remind me of something. It looks like a hurricane that's had like a colossal accident and the front end of it is kind of snapped off. Now, I do think it is important to mention as well that when we say design doesn't work for us, that doesn't mean that we think the ship is poorly made. The level of craft and excellence that goes into every ship in this game is amazing. What I mean is that just from a taste perspective, we all like some designs more than others. I love Drake ships, but a lot of people don't see the appeal. Similarly, I am not usually a fan of misc designs, where many people are. For me, the Intrepid falls into the latter category, but I've already seen a lot of people on our Discord, for example, completely in in love with this ship's unusual design.
That gun is also small enough that you could just put it under the chin like every other ship in the game.
The single size 3 weapon did seem kind of anemic, but how would it feel in an actual fight? As I left the atmosphere, I was enjoying the flight experience. Handles nicely though, I gotta say. I mean, you know, any of the starships really does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and I would hope a Crusader ship flies well. That's, that was supposed to be their whole shtick. But then every ship they had, they made it fly bad.
So I was taking on the first bounty cert, a good test for a starter ship, and a mission that would see me doing a little travelling. See if this thing can jump to Hurston. Looks good.
If we couldn't jump to Hurston, that would be worrisome. Like a fighter can jump to Hurston.
As Hurston came into view, I couldn't tell if we were heading for the day or night side for this mission.
Travel complete.
They want us just like look at the ship.
Travel
Look at the
engaged.
ship, yeah, that'd be fun.
As I dropped in closer though, we appeared to be somewhere between day and night. For a poor pilot like me, this is a dangerous time of day to be flying. I'd slow fly the rest of the way there, and it wouldn't be long before contacts were appearing on my HUD. The target was a prospector and its escort was a Mustang. These seemed like very reasonable targets for a starter pilot to take on, but how would the Intrepid perform? The Mustang would be first, and it seemed like it was having some flight problems initially, but it quickly recovered and got into the fight.
Attack on shields.
I'd gotten the shields down, but how long would it take to finish the Mustang off?
Target destroyed.
Okay. Going down. Now it could be that I haven't done space combat in a starter ship in a long time, but it did seem to take a while to kill the Mustang.
Alert. Front crash close.
The Prospector is a tougher ship, but it is also slower and less nimble, making it easier to land shots. And the Intrepid's capacitor didn't seem to hinder my fire very much.
Alert. Front crash close. Alert. Front crash close. Target destroyed.
Okay, so I did the tracker training certificate mission. The weapon feels extremely anemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
took a really, really long time to kill both a Mustang and a Prospector, yeah. I'm not the best pilot, but I was landing most of those hits.
Let's put it this way. It's got less firepower than a cutter.
Whoa, no way, really?
Yeah.
Now, when I was watching this back in editing, I did feel I was a bit harsh in my initial reaction. The fights were really not that long actually, it just felt like it at the time. And going in with the expectation that the ship was underarmed might have played into that in my mind. It is a starter ship after all, and what it lacks in firepower it might make up for in other areas. I did enjoy the flying experience, and the interior features will make this a very versatile ship for sure. Depending on the price that it sells for, this one could be a good alternative to the cutter. Okay, we're back outside. There was another ship added to the PTU though, a variation on a favourite of mine, the Terrapin, now with a medical variant. And as a ship to make variants from, the Terrapin is kind of a no-brainer. It has such excellent armour protection that I think both a medical and a dropship variant would make perfect sense. Ooh, new ramp, white ramp.
Yeah, they did make adjustments to it.
On entering, I was really pleased with how good the medical bay looked on board, but I did immediately also spot there was no longer a regular bed, allowing bed logging. And while that wouldn't matter for the ship's intended purpose, as an upgrade option from a regular Terrapin, this is something that would definitely factor into my decision making. But you're giving up a bedlog bed to do it. In the medical Pisces, which is also an Anvil ship, you get a lot of supplies on board in the storage spaces. Why are Anvil skimping on the goddamn goodies in the cupboards? I use the Terrapin a lot as a daily driver. It is really simple to fly and really well protected. So for a player like me that does a lot of FPS stuff in the game, the Terrapin is kind of the perfect ship. This makes upgrading from the regular Terrapin to the medical Terrapin a decision that requires a lot of consideration.
But you lost your weapon rack, you lost your armor locker.
To me, the most important thing, in my opinion, that you're losing is the bed. I was using a Terrapin as a daily driver, and having the ability to bedlog in it was really useful in a lot of situations. But either way, both of these new ships will be excellent additions to the game when they hit live over IAE, and I for one cannot wait for IAE to come this year. As always, I want to thank all of you at home for watching, and all of our very generous patrons that you can see on screen right now. These very generous people have kept this channel going over the years with all of their support, and I just want to thank each of you for choosing to support the channel. Thank you. Here's to another year covering Star Citizen, and we'll be back with more very soon.